Sa aking mga previous videos, napag-usapan natin yung linear homogeneous differential equations na case 1, which is the auxiliary equation with distinct root, and case 2, auxiliary equations with repeated roots. Ngayon, pag-usapan naman natin yung case 3, which is auxiliary equations with distinct imaginary roots or yung may complex roots. So, kung maalala nyo pa, yung parts of a complex number, the complex number has imaginary part at saka yung real part. Paano ba tayo nagkakaroon ng complex number? So, kapag nagkaroon ng square root yung negative number, for example, if we have here x is equal to the square root of negative 1, yan. So, ang sagot niyan is positive, negative, I. Yan. Example, x is equal to the square root of negative 4. Yan. So the answer is x is equal to positive, negative 2i. Yan. In dealing with auxiliary equations with distinct imaginary root, pag sinabi natin distinct, ano nga ulit? Wala siyang kaparehas. Okay? Wala siyang katulad. So, ito yung gagamitin ninyong solutions. And so y is equal to c1, yung constant natin, e to the ax, yung a natin is the real part, cosine bx, yung b natin is the imaginary part, yung numerical value, plus c2 e to the ax sine bx. Okay, so let's have this example. Problem number 1. So, if we have here d squared minus 2d plus 5y is equal to 0. Ano nga ulit yung d? Yan po yung ating differential operator. So, let's proceed. Dun sa, ayan. So, kunin natin yung, let's transform this muna into an auxiliary equation m. So, in ating auxiliary equation, we have m squared minus 2m plus 5 equals 0. Now, let's get the roots. So, anong gagamitin ninyong pagkuha ng roots? Gamitan natin ng quadratic equation. Finding x or m through quadratic equation. By quadratic equation, ayan. Maalala nyo pa yung inyong quadratic equation sa algebra. Anong formula nun? We have x plus x is equal to negative b plus minus square root of negative b squared b squared minus 4ac over 2a, kung saan ang form ng quadratic equation natin is ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0, right? So yan. In our case, our m ayan, equals negative of negative 2. Ayan, kasi negative 2 yung b natin, plus minus square root of negative 2 squared minus 4, 1, ano yung c natin? 5 over 2 times 1. Okay, so if we try to continue solving that one, we have 2 plus minus square root of, okay, 4 minus 20, right, over 2. And that is 2 plus minus square root of negative 16 over 2. Therefore, that will be 2 plus minus 4i over 2. Simplify pa natin. That will be 1 plus minus 2i. So, therefore, ito na yung ating m. So, papansinin ninyo, anong form to? complex or imaginary. Okay, it's a mixture of real at saka imaginary number. Ngayon, ang solution natin is our y is equal to C1 e to the, ano yung a natin? 1. Okay? So, e to the x. Cosine, ano yung b natin? 2. 2x plus C2 e to the x sine 2x. So, ito na po yung ating sagot. And y is equal to C1 e to the x cosine 2x plus C2 e to the x sine 2x. And so, let's have another example. And sample problem number 2. Yan. Problem 2. Kapag ka meron tayong d cube plus 2d plus d plus 2. Example. And y is equal to 0. Ilan yung roots nito sa tingin ninyo? Ano ba yung degree niya? 3, correct? So, therefore, maaaring ang roots niya ay hindi maaari. Meron siyang roots na 3. Ayan, 3. Anong gusto nyong gamitin para makuha natin yung mga roots? First, we have to transform it into an auxiliary equation. So, we have m cubed plus 2m plus m plus 2 is equal to 0. Yan. Adjust natin. Biglang tumaas naman. Okay, next page. So, anong gusto nyo gamitin? Gamitan natin ng synthetic division. So, by synthetic division, malala nyo pa yung synthetic division ninyo. We have 1. Kunin natin yung numerical coefficient. 2, 1, at saka 2. Ayan. Ano naisip niyong root niya? Sige, subukan natin. Negative 1 or 1. Subukan natin 1. Hindi. Kasi kung 1 yan, definitely wala namang negative dyan. Subukan natin negative 1. So, 1, negative 1, 1, negative 1, 0, 0, 2. So, hindi ito nag-0. Ibig sabihin, not a root. Gawa pa tayo ng isa. Subukan pa natin ng isa. So, we have 1, 2, 1, 2. Ulitin lang natin. Lagay tayo ng negative 2. Okay? So, we have 1, negative 2, 0, 0, 1, negative 2, 0. So, nag-0 siya. Ibig sabihin, negative 2 is its roots. Now, titingnan nyo dito, meron na tayong m squared plus 1 is equal to 0, di ba? Kasi wala yung m to the 1. Now, pwede na natin makuha dito yung roots. So, we have m squared is equal to negative 1. Therefore, ang ating m is equal to square root of negative 1, and that is positive negative I. Yan. In this form, kung titignan nyo, wala siyang a. Ang a niya is equal to 0. Ang b niya, ang kanyang b ay, positive negative I. Yan. Or positive negative 1 rather. 1i. Hindi. Numerical lang yun. So, lalagyan natin 1. Makamalito kayo. Now, Okay, so meron na tayong roots na nawala. Ayan, so kita na. Therefore, papansinin niyo meron tayong m. Ano yung mga roots niya? M is equal to negative 2. Tapos, plus minus I. Okay, tulad ng sabi ko kanina, meron siyang 3 roots. Bakit? Kasi ang kanyang degree ay 3. So, therefore, ang y natin, y is equal to, unahin natin yung distinct root muna. So, C1 e to the negative 2x. Ano yung isa? Okay. Following the function, solution na binigay natin kanina. So, C1 e to the, ano yung A? C2 na kasi ginamit na natin yung C1 kanina. C2, yan, C2 e to the, ang A natin is 0x, right? Cosine, ano yung B natin? 1. Cosine x plus C3 e to the 0x, yan, sine x. Pero ano yung e to the 0? 1. Actually, kung sanay na kayo, pwede nyo i-diretsohin. Huwag nyo na isulat yung e to the 0. E to the negative 2x plus C2 cosine x plus C3 sine x. So, ito na po yung ating sagot. Ayan. So, another problem. If we have here sample problem number 3. Hanap tayo ng another problem. Ayan. Magbigay na lang ako ng ng problem. Okay, ito. Kapag meron tayong may problem na ganito, d to the 5 minus d to the 4th plus 2d cubed plus 6d squared minus 3d minus 5 y is equal to 0. Medyo mahirap kapag mataas yung kanyang degree. Diba? In this case, ang degree niya ay 5. So, baka mahirapan tayo dyan. Kaya masusubok yung galing ninyo sa pagkuha ng roots. Okay? So, marami naman tayong way para makuha yung roots. Pwede kang gumamit ng synthetic division, factor theorem, ayan. And then, quadratic equation. Kapag yung iyong degree na ay nasa 2 na lang. Okay? So, sige. Gamitan natin siya ng synthetic division. I-transform muna natin siya into an auxiliary equation. So, we have here m to the 5th plus m to the 4th plus 2m cubed plus 6m squared minus 3m minus 5 is equal to 0. Ayan. So, by synthetic division, we have 1, negative 1, 2, 6, negative 3, and negative 5. Okay? So, ano yung naisip ninyong root? So, if we assume 1, sige. Mas madali kasing i-solve. Gamitan natin ng 1. Baka naman, 1. So, we have 1, and then 1, 0, okay, 2, 2 tuloy, okay, 0 pala to, 0 is 2, and then 2, 8, and we have 8, 5, then 5, so nag-0, ibig sabihin, 1 is a root. Maghanap naman tayo ng isa. So, papansinin niyo, mararamdaman niyo naman kung ano yung possible na gamitin niyo. wala siyang negative dito. So, mag-multiply tayo ng negative. Ayan. So, we have 1, negative 1. Okay, so negative 1. Ano pa? So, 1, 3, negative 3, 5, negative 5. So, papansin niyo nag-0 ulit. Right? Subukan natin, negative 1 ulit. Sige, new page. Kita ba? Hindi. Yun. So, dalawa ng negative 1. Hindi. Isa pa lang. Yan. So, another assumption natin is still negative 1. So, 1, negative 1, negative 2, 2, 5, negative 5. Yan. So, pansinin nyo, nag-0 din siya. So, ibig sabihin, another negative 1 ay yung kanyang root. So, ito, dalawa na lang. Ang power niya ay 2. Pwede natin gamitan ng quadratic equation. By quadratic equation, we have m equals, diretsuhin na natin ha. So, negative b is negative of negative 2. Yan. Actually, pareho na to nung function kanina. Pero, ano na lang natin. Yung kanyang solution. Lagi lang natin 4, 1, and then 5. Okay. Over 2 times 1. And ano ulit yung formula natin ng quadratic equation? Negative b plus minus square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. So, yan. So, therefore, continue. So, we have 2 plus minus square root of 4 minus 20 over 2. So, that is 2 plus minus square root of negative 16 over 2. Ayan. So, we have 2 plus minus 4i over 2. So, finally, ang sagot natin is 1 plus minus 2i. So, ano yung mga m natin? Okay. Summarize lang natin na ang m natin na nakuha kanina is yan. So, we have positive 1, negative 1, negative 1, and then 1 plus minus 2i. Okay? So, yun po yung ating roots. Lalagay na natin siya ngayon doon sa ating solutions na y. Okay. Tingnan natin na meron siyang distinct root. Asan yung kanyang distinct root? Ito. Meron siyang repeated roots. Ano yung kanyang repeated roots? Ito. At meron siyang imaginary roots. So, it's a mixture of the three cases na napag-aralan na natin. So, therefore, meron tayo C1, yung distinct muna, e to the x. Okay? Plus, ano yung ating repeated roots? Repeated root natin, since dalawa sila, C2 plus C3x e to the negative x. Pagkatapos yung imaginary plus C4 e to the x cosine 2x plus C5 e to the x sine 2x. Okay, so ito na po yung ating sagot. Ayan. Tulad ng sabi ko kanina, this problem is a mixture of case 1, case 2, at saka case 3. Okay, so sa susunod na video, pag-aralan naman natin paano kapag repeated naman yung kanyang imaginary part. Okay, sige.